People have so many ways and so many tactics to get out of their financial hardship. Well, what I'm speaking about in my particular video right now is living paycheck to paycheck and what I did personally to stop living paycheck to paycheck. So I came up with this idea to come back and to tell y'all about these things because I noticed I was trying to give tips on how to balance your checking account, how to keep up with everything that's coming in and out of your checking account. But then I noticed that I've never spoke about how I cut down on some of the expenses within the household. So let's just get started. First thing I started doing was not eating out with my friends, family, coworkers, and or neighbors. You know how people would, want to ask you, hey, do you want to go out to eat, whether at work or on the weekends or whatever? Just say no. I just started saying no. So with that being said, I had to learn how to start being comfortable with being uncomfortable and telling the truth. So by telling the truth, there's two benefits with telling the truth when you're trying to save money. Number one, when you tell a person that you're trying to save money and you don't want to do certain activities because you can't afford it, because you are on a budget. First thing is if they know what you're trying to do, they know what you're trying to accomplish. So if they really want you within the company of them, they would probably consider paying your way to go out to eat or whatever the activity is that they're trying to do. The second benefit of being honest and telling the truth and being comfortable with being uncomfortable is some people don't want to support you. If you tell somebody you're trying to save money, when you're trying to better yourself and trying to do something different in life, people start looking at you kind of funny, want to try to make you feel a particular type of way because you're different. You're trying to do something different. And you need to know who those people are. You need to know who your real friends are. You need to know whether it's your family member, friend, coworker, neighbor, whoever it is. You need to know who is on your side and who has you in their best interest. Because whenever you do get on your feet, get your finances like you want them, you know who not to fool with. You see what I'm saying? Because your real true friends and people who really, really care about you would support you through this time of you not having money. And when I say they'll support you, meaning not saying that they'll always, hey, I have money for you to go out to eat. They'll just be there to talk with you. They'll understand and they won't criticize you. They'll try to motivate you to keep going with your goal. Those are the two benefits of being honest and telling the truth about being on a budget. So yeah, so if people, want you to go do something with them, just be honest with them and just tell them no, and just explain to them why. And also when you explain why, that may also change the dynamic within how your group of friends or family change how they behave, as far as they may stop wanting to always go out to eat. They may, offer to have something at your home if you agree to do that, or you come to their home and everybody come together to bring food together, so everybody won't be just paying out of their pocket. It's like a come together type thing. You just never know. Or somebody within the group may be in your same situation and they may be ashamed to say it, and you may be the one who start that domino effect of everybody coming together and just having that conversation as to how they're saving money. So there are some positives that can come out of being open, honest, and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, So that's one thing that I did. I just stopped eating out. Number two, and also on number one, if they want you to come with them, then by all means, jump in their car. That takes me to number two. I stopped starting my car and driving it every time I thought of it. So you can be at work. It could be your lunch hour. Just because it's your lunch hour, sometimes we can have a tendency to say, hey, it's my lunch hour. I'm gonna run over to this place or this place. Don't do it. Or if you're at home just hanging out and you're bored, you might say, hey, I'm going to go over to this place or that place. Don't do it. you're wasting money. You're wasting unnecessary money. But on your way home, because you got to start your car back up anyway at the end of your workday. You see what I'm saying? So on your way home from work, then that's when you can stop at wherever you want to stop at. So you're making one pass. You're just gonna pass it anyway. So let's just do it when you get off of work. Um, what's the next one? The next one, I stopped buying unnecessary items. I stopped shopping unnecessarily, is what I'm saying. And I'm not going to get into what's necessary and what's not, what's necessary, what's unnecessary, because that varies from person to person. What's unnecessary to me may be necessary to you. You see what I'm saying? But it comes down to the point to where it depends on how bad you want to get out of the paycheck to paycheck trench. Depends on how bad you want to get out of it. Okay. So, but for me personally, I stopped going to the beauty shop. Even to this day, I may go to the salon, for a real good deep treatment or something like that. But I typically don't go to a salon. I don't go get my nails done. There's nothing wrong with getting nails done. Nails are beautiful. Getting your nails done is so beautiful, and I think it's pretty, and I think it's gorgeous, but that's just not something that is a necessity for me, even to this day. Another thing is I started cooking more, which obviously, if I say I'm not eating out, obviously I'm cooking every day, and cooking doesn't necessarily mean a full-blown gourmet meal, just something simple, a tuna salad. Sandwich, tuna with crackers, whatever, something simple, whatever you want to, whatever you want. I turned off my TV. I turned off my cable TV or satellite, whatever you want to call it, because especially if you're at work all day long, and I'm using the term you, but I'm speaking about myself. So let me just say me. I was at work all day long and every day, and by the time I get off of work, sit in traffic, get home, and do all the things that I have to do, pretty much all the things that I was really interested in is on regular TV with an antenna. I didn't need the extra stuff. So that was one bill that I cut out. So what else do I have on here? I had a tendency of we had all these parks around, neighborhood parks. I would drive to the park. I started walking. Why start the car up when you can just get you some exercise and just drive to the park? I mean, I guess unless you feel, I don't know. Anyway, I walked to the park instead of driving. So anyway, so those are just some things, and that's not all of the things that I started doing when I was living paycheck to paycheck, but those are just some of the items, some of the things that I had listed down that I could think of right away. So again, if y'all like this kind of video and you want me to talk more about things that I did in order to get out of that paycheck to paycheck situation, let me know. And it just depends. It depends on every person is individualized, but my point is if you're living paycheck to paycheck, the people I know of that are complaining about living paycheck to paycheck, they have a lifestyle of things that they really can stop doing. And now I know somebody may be listening to this and thinking, I'm not going to stop getting my hair done. I'm not going to stop getting my nails done. I'm not going to stop doing my extracurricular activities that cost on the weekends, and that's fine. You don't have to. However, again, like I said, it just depends on how bad do you want to start having a savings at the end of your pay period. It depends on how bad you want to have money left over and stop living from paycheck to paycheck, because for me, it was always so scary to not have a savings. You just never know when you're going to have a flat tire. You just never know when you're going to have a medical emergency. You just never know when you're going to have something at home to break down that needs to be fixed. I wanted to be that person where if something broke down or if I had an issue, I could always have that money in my account or in my pocket, and I didn't have to go borrow from anyone. I didn't have to ask for it from anyone. Now that's just me. Now y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. about the video, like I said, and if you would like for me to do more of these videos. Okay, see you later. Bye.